We share. Oh, take a ride with me.
My mother-in-law is a lesbian who has been making advances at me since I got married to my husband. My husband believes that his mother is a saint who refused to remarry after the death of his father because she did not want another man to maltreat him. She had raised him all by herself. He was very happy when she accepted me after rejecting a lot of women whom he had brought home. She was very nice to me and had even advised us to concentrate on our careers instead of rushing to have babies, since she was not pressurizing us to give us grandkids right now. Well, that sounded okay to me until she started making advances at me. At first, it was a pat on the backside. Then she would pinch my nipples and ask me if it hurts. Sometimes she would even walk into my bedroom when she knows that I'm having my bath and walk into the bathroom and start a conversation with me. At first, it did not sit well with me. I tried talking to my husband about it, but he asked me if it is a bad thing if his mother looks at my naked body. I was shocked and dumbfounded when she called me and started talking about how she sees me as her daughter and her sister, that she does not see anything wrong with a woman seeing another woman's nakedness. She went further to tell me how I can even look at her when she is naked and she does not mind at all. After that conversation, she started calling out to me to help her unhook her bra and proceeding to undress in front of me. If I tried to walk out, she did call me back and insist that I stay and talk to her. One time, I woke up to find her in my bed when my husband traveled. I was scared out of my wits. She just patted me and told me to go back to sleep, that she is used to sleeping with someone in the room and finds it difficult to sleep alone. I relaxed and went back to sleep, only to wake up to her touching me in an inappropriate manner. I scolded her and warned her not to try that rubbish again, or else I would tell her son. She burst into tears and left the room. The next day, my husband called me and scolded me for making his mother cry. He asked me if it is a big deal if his mother sleeps on the same bed with me. He even asked me if I can sleep on the same bed with my mother. Why then is it difficult for me to sleep with his mother on the same bed? I tried to tell him what she did to me that night, but he told me that I was lying against his mother. This even got him more upset. My husband came back from his trip and gave me the silent treatment for days while he and his mother just behaved as though I was non-existent in the house. I started feeling like a bad person for rebuking his mother. I tried making peace with my husband, but he told me to go and settle with his mother first before he would talk to me. Well, for peace to reign, I went to plead with his mom to forgive me. She just shunned me and walked away. I kept enduring that silent treatment until my younger sister came to visit us. My sister is pretty and shapely. Immediately I introduced her to Mama. Mama's attitude changed towards me. She became nice and friendly. I was shocked at the turn of events, but I just assumed that she changed because a member of my family is in the house, so that she won't be seen as a bad person by my family members. By this time, I was about 4 months pregnant. My younger sister lived with us until it was time for her to go for her youth service. I was surprised when my mother-in-law held her and cried like a baby when she was leaving. She even made her promise to be visiting us. After my younger sister's departure, my mother-in-law reverted to her old self, but this time with more cruelty. She would look at me with such disgust and tell me how I had spoilt my sheep with this pregnancy. She called me a goat who rushed to get pregnant as though they give people award for having children. I told her I was carrying a grandchild, and she asked me if she begged me for any grandchild. She even went as far as asking me if I don't know that grandchildren could be adopted while the wife maintains her beautiful shape. One day, she threatened that she would replace me with my younger sister, who had brighter and more current plans for her life than I did. She would call my younger sister on phone and refer to her as daughter-in-law. I started wondering what was going on. One day, I confronted her with this, and she told me to shut up, that I'm just a baby-making machine. That hurt, but I was happy that I was going to be a mother. When I had my first child, my mother-in-law and my husband were thrilled. My younger sister volunteered to come and help me. My younger sister and my mother-in-law were torn in my flesh. My sister started helping my mother-in-law with things in the house. One time, I saw her sneaking out of my mother-in-law's room very early in the morning. As much as I wanted to give my sister the benefit of doubt about what was going on between her and my mother-in-law, I knew in my heart those two were having an affair. I confronted her about it and she responded by giving me a dirty slap. I was stunned. I never expected that reaction from her. She and Mama had been treating me like I don't have a say in my own house, but I never expected that she would get physical with me. I managed to ask her why she slapped me, and she said I was jealous and vengeful. She accused me of not treating my mother-in-law with love and respect. She said I couldn't even give the poor woman the love she deserved. While she was shouting at me, she called my mother-in-law on the phone and reported me to her. All hell broke loose when my mother-in-law and my husband came back, threw me out of the house. I was left with my child and went back home. But my parents refused to let me in since my younger sister is their favorite daughter, and she has succeeded in convincing them with her own side of the story. I had to stay with an old friend while I was struggling to get a job or start a business. My friend gave me some money, which was what I started using to sell bread. In the morning, I would go and teach in a primary school in my area, and in the evening, I would sell bread in front of the compound while keeping an eye on my child. One day, my family summoned me to the house. When I got there, I was told that my husband had returned my bride price and come to ask for my younger sister's hand in marriage. The father told me that she said that the children are not his. He said that he had low sperm count while he was married to me and there is no way the child can be his. I was shocked to my marrow because I knew that he was lying. While I was still wondering why he spewed such lies, my younger sister came in and she was pregnant. She then told me that my mother-in-law accepts her and that her child is the legitimate child of my husband. After some time, I started dating. At first, I just wanted companionship, but with time, I fell in love with him. One day, he asked me to marry him. This is where I have issues. This is because I no longer have a womb. You see, I had complications in my last pregnancy. After childbirth, I kept bleeding and spotting. This went on even after I left my husband's house. When I went to the clinic, the doctor said I had to take out my womb to save my life. Well, I was already done with the marriage and I don't think I was ready to have another marriage or childbirth. So I accepted for that uterus to be taken out. I told my new lover about this and he said he has no problem as long as I agree to marry him on the condition that I let him adopt my children as his own. I have a son and a daughter and he treats them like his own. My son is actually 4 and my daughter is 2. I love this man and want to spend the rest of my life with him, and my children love him and even call him daddy. I know he loves me and wants to spend the rest of his life with me, but I have a problem. My ex-husband currently caught his mother and his sister in the act and he came begging. He has thrown my sister out of the house with her child and came begging that I should forgive him and allow him to be part of my life once more. He now wants the children back, the children that he said they were not his. The kids are torn between their new daddy and their biological father. My mother-in-law had visited me and told me that she will make my life miserable if I return to that house. I think I still love my ex-husband, but I also love Promise, who has treated me like a queen and even accepted me despite knowing that I can't bear children. And I can't stand the fact that my younger sister has a child from my husband and is even married to him. I don't want to hurt my new lover. What should I do?